On Fenris, there are no wolves.
But there are corgis. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited about the new Horus Heresy. The new models seem outstanding, the rules seem pretty clear and easy to play. As a Space Wolf player, I am super excited about that. In fact, I heard they just released some Space Wolf helmets, so let's go take a look at those right now. Okay, this is gonna be a problem. It can't be that bad, right? I think I'm just blowing things out of proportion, guys. Like, maybe I'm just being a little too, salty about stuff here. Let's check the internet. Maybe they have some enlightening ideas about what they say about this. Oh, God. Oh. Okay, that one's funny. Now, first off, some credentials. I've been playing Space Wolves for a awfully long time, and if GW thinks that I'm just going to take this lying down, well, they're barking up the wrong tree. My guy, what was that? I don't know, I think it's fetching. Right there. What you just... Did you not hear yourself? Do you not know you're doing this? So I think the best way to articulate this problem here is that the model is not enough Viking and too much Wolf. You see, a lot of Space Wolf players are actually these giant Viking metalheads. You know, the kind of guys that like to go to a mosh pit and row. You know, those guys who really like that polyrhythmic 2 against 3 B minor chugathon. Beato. That's a Beato, right? Heck, that might even be a whole Finity. All joking aside, every single Space Marine chapter is some sort of analog to a former warrior of history. So when these guys come out of the gates looking like Paw Patrol, well, you best believe that's going to make the route feel a little rough around the edges. But then I got to thinking, how much wolf would a Space Wolf wolf if a Space Wolf could Space Wolf? You mean to tell me you want to make a model that's going to use all of the Space Wolf bits you can find, every single Bork that you can Bork onto the Bork?
Let's do this.
Well then, let's pull out that shame pile.
This one?
No, the other one.
This one?
The other one.
This one?
The other one.
This
the
one?
other one.
That one?
The other one. Dude, how many do you have? Okay, I might have a problem. So I started this model off with some plastic Horus Heresy, whatever I had lying around. Our first conversion is going to be with the legs, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the leg at the knee and add my first Bork bit. And that bit is going to be from the Thunderwolf Cavalry. I wanted to start this conversion off trying to tackle the hardest problem I think we have, and that's the legs. The legs don't really have a lot of places or opportunity in which to put a wolfy bit. But then I got a great idea. Often when Space Marines are damaged in battle, they'll have to use whatever parts they can as prosthetics. This particular Space Marine had to salvage parts from a Thunderwolf. Now moving on to the upper body, I actually selected a part that only had a tiny little skull, which I then removed with an X-Acto knife. I then decided to use a bit from my Space Wolf sprues, and that was the wolf bolter that you get from the Space Wolves kit. To give it some of those Horus Heresy vibes, I ended up giving it a Forge World arm from the Grey Slayers, and adding that with a Space Wolf axe from the Space Wolf sprue. To represent the dual heads of Mordecai, this Space Marine is choosing more Bork parts. He's going to have 2 shoulder pads I nabbed from Puppets War a long time ago. Now on to the backpack. Now my first choice didn't actually fit. It limited the mobility of the model and actually didn't even physically fit onto the model. So I had to choose a different backpack. So I went into my bits box and I found ones from the Deathsworn, which was an amazing choice. First off, it makes everything look like it's from the Horus Heresy, and second off, it actually fits on the model a little better. I then added a sergeant marker to the top of this backpack to help put more wolf on the wolf. With the backpack completed, I decided he needed a cloak, so I found a bit that's originally from the Age of Sigmar Slaves to Darkness. What I did was I then shaved it off a little bit to try and take away a little excess spacing. What I had to do was take a little bit of green stuff and put it on the back. Once I completed that, I used my razor blade to actually carve out a little bit of wolf fur. Moving on to the head, I had this perfect derpy bit from Max Mini that I've had for a long time and never knew what to do with. So what I wanted to do is I put that on the model. I noticed it didn't quite fit. So what I did was I added a little ball of green stuff below it and then just put that on the model. Don't worry, you won't see it. So then after that, we got rapid fire. 3 more things I needed to do to this model. We put on a loincloth, because who doesn't love a fur loincloth? Then I found this 3D Shapeways bit that I've had sitting around to put on the belt to give another wolf head. Then I tried to use this awesome wolf necklace, and it looked great on the model, but it fell off and then was lost to the chaos god that is the floor. In despair, I decided I needed to do something to wolf this chest. So what I did was I took out some epoxy sculpt and sculpted a symbol onto the chest. Since I had the epoxy sculpt out, I figured, hey, this would be a great opportunity to make a base. So I took 2 pieces of cork, and then I covered it in epoxy sculpt, and that gave me a basic idea that I could then carve. I'll show more about this kind of technique later in another video. Now guys, this video is meant to be more of a conversion video than it is a painting video, but I didn't want to leave you hanging with not knowing what exactly I did to paint this model. So I'm going to go over some light notes. This isn't everything I've done, but it will get you in the right direction. So of course we started by priming the model black, then after that I added Mechanicus Standard Gray to the whole thing. Then I grabbed one of my favorite paints, as you saw before in my last video, Chestnut Ink from Scale 75. I love this paint. It's a great way to just add shadows and dirt to things without really even trying. Threw that through the airbrush and gave it a little bit of detail. It doesn't really show up in the camera, but you will see it at the final product. Then for the metallics, I used Vallejo Metal Color and Scale 75 Viking Gold. For all the red parts, I really wanted to make the most of Bal Red, which is a great color, but in order to use it, you're going to have to paint everything you want red white first. This includes the freehand that I did on the chest. After that, I did a simple coat of Xandri Dust all along any parts that would be fur or bone colored. Then I used an enamel wash from Tamaya to just put all over the model and give it that gritty, grim, dark vibe that we're going for this particular project. After the enamel wash was done, I just went in and highlighted everything back with the original color. Again, guys, this isn't a really fully comprehensive guide on how I painted it. This is more about the converting, but I wanted to give you some hints of how I got things started. Moving on to the base, what I did was I started painting the entire base with a blue color, then took a light sky blue and painted that in with an airbrush. Once that was done, I painted everything with a white dry brush. This really brought out all the details and really gave it that kind of snowy look that we were going for. And of course I didn't forget my little wolf. But what we did here was we painted the whole thing white using an airbrush, then used my chestnut ink to get under the arms and give it a little bit of brown. Then after that I used Soaplight Gray to give it a dark shade. And to complete the look, I used the same dry brush white that I was using on the base and just covered the model with it. Then mixing flock with PVA glue, I applied it to the model to give some snow effect. Then after that, I used Green Stuff World's Frost Effects on the base and on the frost weapon to help sell the look that we were in the cold. I love the crystalline effect. It really helped push the model into the cold world that I wanted it to be in. With that, it's model reveal time, guys. Enjoy. Well guys, that's going to be it for me for this video. We do have bat reps coming up at the end of this week, I promise. Stay on the lookout. We're going to have a Ynnari versus Orcs battle. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share these videos with your friends. That way we can get a little bit more visibility. And as always guys, keep on gaming. I'll see you next time.